Alright guys, welcome back to Bert's Basics. Today's video is going to probably be the most difficult part of the muscle unit. Today we are going to learn actin and myosin and just look at these objectives. Sliding filament theory and neuromuscular junction. Okay, it sounds pretty bad, but it's not going to be too difficult. It's just some words you're going to have to memorize and it looks a little scary. So if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. I don't know if this is going to work as well as I thought or as I want, but we're going to sure give it a shot. So I'm going to go ahead and move myself down here. There we go. So if you guys want to follow along, now I'm a color coding freak, so you can see here I got my cute little color coded pencils. So I'm just going to go on your merry way. Okay, these are the people that you have to know in this unit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write them down. So our goal is we're going to learn the following pieces. We're going to learn actin. Okay, and like I said, I'm all color coding. So let's do myosin in green. Okay, let me go ahead and pause this and I'll write them all down so I can go. So these are all the guys that you need to know in this video. It's actin, myosin, Z-line, A-band, I-band, H-zone, Crossbridges, and Sacromere. So right away, I know this looks a little daunting, but just trust me. Give me like 5-10 minutes, and I promise I'll make this easy as it can possibly be. So when we look at a muscle cell, okay, we can look at a muscle cell like this. This is a long cylindrical cell. Now you know this cell is striated. Now you know striated means stripes. So if it's okay, I'm going to start with a pen. Now, if I grab my pen and I start drawing this, okay, we're going to start with these protein sticks that go all the way across the muscle fiber. So this is a muscle cell. You ready? If you had to guess which one of these guys would be that line, what would you say? And the answer is a Z-line. A Z-line is a zigzag line of protein that goes all the way across. So, okay, I went to school for lots of years for this guy. Okay, there's another one. And they just keep repeating and repeating and repeating. But the nice thing is if you can memorize what happens between these two Z-lines, okay, you can just repeat it forever. Okay, so this is just a zigzag line that keeps on going forever and ever. So if I can draw like a smaller muscle fiber, I'm not kidding. These Z-lines literally go forever up and down that muscle fiber. So can you see how I'm going to start to create a striated appearance? Now let's do actin and myosin. By far, actin and myosin are the most important part of all the muscles. Okay, so here's how you're going to memorize it. Actin, I want you to memorize super, 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 skinny, 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 skinny. Okay, and then so myosin, I want you to memorize super, 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 chunky, chunky. I don't know how you spell chunky. I think it's a KY. Chunky, 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 chunky. Okay. If you guys can remember, these are two proteins, okay? These are two proteins found in the side of a muscle cell. It's kind of like the cytoskeleton, okay? And they're super skinny and super chunky. So let's go ahead and draw actin. Now, kind of watch how I'm drawing this, okay? Here's an actin. 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 Okay, can you see what I'm doing? I'm attaching them to the Z-lines. Now, remember, I'm still going to have actin going this way. And I'm still going to have actin going this way because it just repeats indefinitely, okay, the whole length of the muscle fiber. But I'm only going to worry about the distance between these two Z-lines. So remember, actin is super, 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 super skinny, 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 skinny. Okay, now it's time to get my green. Okay, my green is my myosin. And myosin is super, super, super chunky. Okay, so this is my myosin. Can you see how I'm drawing the difference between these guys? Super chunky. Okay, so here's another one. Chunky, chunky, chunky. Chunky, chunky, chunky. Okay, you guys getting the idea? Let's draw one more. Ooh, chunky, 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 chunky. Okay, those are all my myosin. So far we've got my actin, my myosin, and my Z-line. So I got my first three. Now let's talk about the band of appearance. Now, this is a conceptual game. If you guys are good at puzzles, this will make sense, okay? If you're not, then this is going to struggle. So let's go ahead and take a kind of a role play. If I could somehow take a flashlight and shine it from behind this slide coming straight at you, kind of like a microscope slide. So pretend this is my microscope slide. I put it on a microscope, and all of a sudden light comes blinding at our eyes, okay? Coming right at the camera. So whoop, right up at the camera we go, okay? There's different sections here that we kind of have to master. So if we look at this section right here, I'm just curious, how much light do you think would go through there compared to, say, I don't know, that section right there, okay? It's a game. You should think, wow, there's not much here. There's only actin and a Z-line. And actin is super, 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 super skinny. Okay, so that means most of the light's going to get through because nothing's going to block it. Now, I wish they called this the light band. The light band would be so much more sense. But they don't call it the light band because the first letter was taken. So instead, they call it the I band. Now, the I band is a scientific name, if you look in your detailed notes, for the light region of a muscle. And it really only contains two things. It has my actin and it has my Z line. Okay? So now let's go to this next region. How much light's going to get through here? And the answer is not much because super chunky's in the way. I wish they called this the dark band, but they don't. Okay, the D was already taken somewhere else, so instead they call it the A band. Okay, so if you look over your notes here, the A band, okay, is your dark region of the muscle. That's my dark region of the muscle. And now be very careful. It definitely does contain myosin, but it also contains actin. Now you're like, no, it doesn't. Oh, yes, it does. Look, this is my dark band right here. Okay, that's my dark region of the muscle right there. Is actin in the dark region? Yeah, just a little bit, because actin and myosin overlap. Now that we've got this, let's go back to our next one. So then what's this one right here? Without the myosin, this would be my I band. And then now that we've got my myosin back, this would be my A band, okay? And really, if you guys want to look at this, I is light, A is dark. So it goes light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. And that is called striated. Okay, so that's my striations. Okay, now we're not done yet because I still have a couple more words below this, right? So we got actin, myosin, Z line, A band, I band. Let's do H zone. Okay, the H zone is found in the center of the A band. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw our H zone. Okay, our H zone is only found here to here. Okay, that's my H zone. Now, if we look at it, the H zone, by defined, is the center of the A band, which is the dark band. But now here's the trick. It contains myosin only. Okay, can you see what I did there? The H zone doesn't have the actin, so the H zone is just the center of the dark region. That is myosin only. That's your H zone. But it is in the dark band. Don't get me wrong. It's in the dark band. It's just in the center. Okay, now let's go down to sarcomere because I'm just trying to go. I was going to save Crossbridges for last. Okay, a sarcomere. A sarcomere is this, from here to here. That is a sarcomere. Okay. Now, if you guys understand, some med term, you know that sarco is flesh and mere is a unit. So this is a unit of flesh, and flesh being our muscles, aka a sarcomere. I don't know if you can see it with my face in the way. Let me move my big noggin. Okay. A sarcomere is the distance between two Z lines. Okay, let's write that. Distance between two Z lines. Okay, that's what they are. So if I look, this is one sarcomere. So look at my bottom drawing. Okay, this is one sarcomere right here. That's another sarcomere, and another sarcomere, and another sarcomere, and another sarcomere. And you can have multiple sarcomeres across a muscle fiber. Now the whole goal is, now that you know how it's aligned, you're ready for how we contract it. Okay, so can I show you a picture really quick? Okay, this might have to be video 1 and 2, so we'll have to see what we got here. Okay, so here's the picture of it. That's what I just drew on the paper. Oh, except for one thing. I forgot one thing. Let's go back to the drawing. One thing. Okay, we missed a word. We missed this guy in green right here. This is one of the most important parts of muscles. And notice I did him in green on purpose because I've already used green right up there. Crossbridges are part of the myosin complex. And what they are is they're little hooks. And they go towards the actin. Now, if you know what muscles are going to do, hopefully this makes sense. I'm only going to draw about 8 of them. Okay, there's tons of these. The goal of these crossbridges is they are myosin crossbridges, and they're linking out to try to grab the blue. And the blue is your actin, super, super, super skinny. It should make sense they call them bridges, because bridges connect two things. So when we want this muscle to contract, those myosin crossbridges are going to have to grab a hold of actin. It's just a little more tricky than that, though. Okay, so let's go back and go to my drawing right here. Okay, so right now we've done number 4, contrast thick and thin. So actin super, super skinny, myosin super, super thick. We're going to do more on that. Okay, so now I'm probably going to pause this because I'm already at almost 10 minutes. So this is going to be basically number 4 by itself, I guess. And then our next video is going to be the sliding filament theory and neuromuscular junction. But I wanted to end with that. Take a peek at that. That's what I just drew. Okay, so it looks super scary, but don't be. Okay, one sarcomere is the distance between two Z lines. Look at the blue line, super skinny. Okay, look at the red line, super chunky. Okay, those are your cross bridges. Notice they're in red. Okay, the red is part of the myosin complex. So we have actin, myosin. Now the only thing they're missing here is they're missing this region right here. Okay, this region right here would be the light band or the I band. This myosin tip to myosin tip would be my A band. And then this part in the middle where it's only myosin would be my H zone. Okay, so let's go back to here. This is a big part of the test. You're going to have to label these guys. Okay, just one last time. Okay, actin, skinny, 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 attaches to the Z line. Z line is a connective tissue that helps keep muscles organized. Okay, the myosin, super chunky, chunky, chunky in the middle and has cross bridges that we're going to use to attach to the actin. Okay, the A band is nothing more than the dark region of a muscle where myosin is found. Okay, so if it's myosin is dark. The I band is a light region of a muscle where no myosin is found. Okay, and then the H zone is the special region inside of the A band where it's only myosin only, but it's part of the dark band. It's just called the H zone. Okay, cross bridges is going to be the whole next video on how they attach, and a sarcomere is nothing more than the distance between two Z lines. Okay, so here's the goal on the next video. The goal in the next video is I have a Z line here and a Z line here. Okay, and my goal is I'm going to have those cross bridges attach and pull. Those Z lines are going to get closer and closer and closer and closer, and the muscle is going to begin to shorten. If the muscle shortens, then guess what this is going to do? These two bones are going to start to get closer together, and that's going to be muscle contraction 101. Okay, so sorry that video was a little long, but I'm telling you, knowing sarcomere, A band, I band, Z line, that's super, super, super important. So I hope that works out well for you, and thanks for watching.